Hey fam, it's Brandon Curtis at Entpgathering, Science and Spirituality meeting with a level up reading for the sign of Aries, all placements. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I am an INTP, ENTP. I am a quad Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Saturn. I am, in human design terms, a projector. My life path number is 3, my self-expression number is 3, my challenge number is 6, and my soul urge number is 9. On the so-called Enneagram, I'm a 6, wing 5, counterphobic 6, and intimate one-on-one or sexual 6 with a tri-type of 369. What else can I tell you? Currently, Uranus is on my ascendant, and Pluto's on my midheaven. I do test on the autism scale for neurodivergence at 127. And if you are interested in any typology systems other than astrology, in Vedic astrology, I'm an Aries rising, Aries sun with a Taurus moon. If you are interested in getting yourself typed in these various typology systems, there are links in the description box so that you can do that. This is what Entpgathering is here for, is to bring together Tarot to the MBTI community, as well as the Enneagram community. To those of you who are into Tarot and astrology, and also neurodivergent. All of these seemingly disparate typology systems are all related to the time, the date, the location of your birth. So it's all in the stars, truly, because that's where we come from. So, without further ado, I am going to use the Enigma Tarot, which is comprised of sketches by Leonardo da Vinci, an ENTP, and an Aries sun. I hope these messages find you well. Take only what resonates. This is a timeless, general, collective reading, so not all the messages will resonate for you. Use your gut, use your heart, and your third eye to discern, practice discernment, and further develop your third eye and your intuition. But try to stay out of your head, which may be hard for you, Aries, as you rule the head. Aries, you rule the first house, which is all about the self. And as an astrotheologian, I believe that mastery of each of our houses is the main goal in this incarnation. And I also believe that in each of our houses we have, in addition to our 3 guardian angels, we have 3 angels and we have demons in those houses that we must learn to work with in order to become masters of the respective houses. 1 through 9 are personal houses, and 10 through 12 are collective houses, just so you know. They correspond to the 12 disciples of Yeshua, or Jesus. They correspond to the Orisha, God and Goddess energies. In Vedic astrology, for example, 8th house is Ganesha, remover of obstacles. 8th house is ruled by Scorpio. So without further ado, I'm going to pull 10 cards and find out what's going on in your situationship. Remember, only take what resonates and leave the rest. All right, currently in your energy, you have Gemini energy, card number 6 of the major arcana. Also, Gemini or the 3rd house, it has to do with siblings. This is my card of balancing the right and left hemispheres of the brain, or the masculine and the feminine of the mind. This is also my card of what I expect to see and what I've felt myself, having gone through ego death processes, found my own faith. This is my card of self-love, true self-love. So with that said, I'd say that's a good energy to start out with, Aries. The challenge to this situation is 8. Also, this is the strength card. It's a nice booty right there. The challenge is your ego. Ego or strength card is Leo energy. I just finished Leo's reading. And Leonardo was an Aries sun and an ENTP. So the challenge to this self-love that I spoke of, the challenge to the balancing of the right and left hemispheres of your brain, as you rule the head, Aries, is your own ego. And I'm hearing 2 challenges for you, Aries, because you're cardinal fire energy and rule the first house. You might be struggling to fix that fire, as Leonardo struggled to fix his fire. He was, going, producing. I mean, this deck is comprised of sketches. Only, 78 sketches that he produced, but they're countless, hundreds, if not thousands, over his lifetime. So he was always initiating new ideas, and he tells me that, not that he has a regret about this, but what he couldn't finish in his life was really using the fire, the fixed fire energy, the creative energy in his 5th house to help him finish a lot of projects or bring to fruition all of these amazing, brilliant ideas that he had. That's one timeline, one message. The second is that the ego itself, not the fire of creation that you have naturally, Aries, but your egoic 5th house, look to what planets might be in your 5th house, is offering up a challenge right now in this quest for self-love. It could also represent somebody else who's challenging you, Aries, and there could be another fire sign. The outcome of this particular mesh, 3 of Swords and Trials. This is air energy, more air energy, but Libra. This is about relationships. This is about affairs of the heart. So right now, channeled song is the ABCs by Roan, which is my ETA is TBA, now working contacts like the CBA, MILF trying to PDA, but I'm going to pass that class with an easy A. Always Peacock, that's NBC, but I got to wrap up, no STD, the PTA giving PTSD. Should have known about me like ESP. I can take it to the bank, that's PNC, that I got the detonator to the TNT. Yeah, lots of egoic and sex here with this strength card. 5th house, Leo energy, does rule over sexual expression. So Aries, wow, let's find out what's going on, what's happened in the distant past, so I can suss this all out. 6 of Earth and giving, Taurus energy. Ah, gotcha. This can also be my card of exploitation. All right. It could also be a card of reciprocal relationships. So there's two messages there. Take only what resonates. In this past relationship that has brought you Three of Swords energy, affairs of the heart, like disappointment. This is mental anguish over lost relationships, over lost loves. Due to this egoic, maybe possibly Leo or other fire sign. This is also, an internal egoic kind of battle. Yeah, you could be in your head a lot here with this Gemini energy of really battling or sussing out your own ego. Aries, you do rule the head. So in the past there was Six of Earth, and we have in your current initial situation, we have this sixth card of the major arcana with Gemini energy. Leo has titled this in this deck Six of Pentacles as giving. Maybe you gave too much. Maybe you gave too much to your own egoic drives. Six of Earth is Taurus energy. Rules the second house. It's Venusian energy. You got Nostalgic by Kelly Clarkson. Don't look back and remember. Drunken tears, oh, remember the love. In my head, I see you laughing. In your head, Twins energy, Three of Air energy. From the words I said, Three of Air energy. In my head, I see you standing there. Aries. Okay, all right. This is you moving away from a relationship and being butthurt about it. Get some perspective. In the recent past, you gained some perspective. You can't read that because of the glare of the sun. There we go. So, more earth energy. The message here is to ground yourself. Coming out of this Three of Swords energy, get into Three of Earth energy. Coming out of this Gemini energy of the twins and the left and right hemispheres of the brain, as I said, ground yourself with Six of Earth energy. So moving forward, the challenge is your ego, which is still remembering old patterns of coupling and also expression of sexuality. The message for you moving forward is to ground yourself, and any new relationships that you form with another individual, make sure you gain plenty of perspective before you let anyone inside your head for now. Also, only allow individuals who can reciprocate the energy that you are putting into your new relationships. If you sense that the individual, and this could be, a workplace environment, it could be a person, place, or thing. Take what resonates. Make sure that you're getting paid for the, fairly for the work that you do, if a workplace environment. Make certain that the time that you invest in a person, place, or thing, you're getting a good return on your investment. At least a good 50-50, an equal return. All right, what's for you in your future? You got the Page of Air. You'll need to study up on this. You'll need to be skeptical on this new process. You'll need to be skeptical of all new persons, places, or things that you are moving into or forming relationships with. I love this song. Runnin' by Naughty Boy. Runnin', lose it all. Get the air picked up, air energy. We got plenty of air out on the table. This is about the message also, Aries, my dear Aries, is, be careful about mixing the air energy with your fire, with your particular fire, because it's very combustible. And any fire and air, both masculine. You need to ground yourself in feminine energy, Taurus energy. We don't have any cups. We have no water. So get out in nature and ground yourself. Hug a tree, for goodness sake. And I'm not joking about that. Get out into the ocean. I'm reminded of this beautiful, ain't running for myself no more. Together we'll win it all. I ain't running. And the together I just heard is you with your newly formed ego. I'm ready to face it all. If I lose myself, I lose it all. Right, you're your best lover at this point. I've outrun the fears that chased. They're standing still. I'm running still. I'm running still. And every voice that cried inside my head forever drives. I've killed the lights. Oh, where else can I go? Yeah. Be careful about mixing fire and air and subsisting on those energies alone. Get out of your head. Ground yourself in feminine energy of earth and water. But this video is all filmed underwater in the ocean. It's beautiful. Check it out. All right. Now, where are you? You, particularly. Here we go. 9 of Cups. This is Piscean energy. This is mutable water energy. And I like this, Aries, given what, the messages that have come through so far, because this indicates change and change within the self, in the emotional intelligence. Having gone through Page of Air, Gemini energy, Libra energy, yeah, it's an emotional intelligence that you are growing, which is great. If I lose myself, I lose it all. Yeah, 9 is the number of the self. It's the last house of our personal planet. Our houses. You are the ruler of our first house, of the self. So what I'm hearing is, because we see this egoic Leo energy that just, this fire burns and burns and burns. Upswing by Prince George. Yeah, I feel there's an upswing, and you need to move up to your 9th house, Sagittarius fire energy, which is mutable fire energy, rather than cardinal, which just is really great initiating. It's very impulsive, very creative too, very attractive. Flash, right? But you are grounding yourself with 3 of Pentacles, Capricorn energy, and 6 of Pentacles, Taurus energy. And you're using Piscean water, also feminine. Remember, the advice is to ground yourself in feminine energies to get through this, to suss it out. You're on the upswing when you do this, when you ground yourself in feminine. You're gonna create more of a balance. Because you've been living in air and fire energy, having gone through this situation. But the advice is, continue to upswing, move from your first house, or here, for you, it would be first house and all the way to 9th house. Into Sagittarius energy. A 9th house is ruled by Jupiter. There's an expansion of the mind and learning philosophy. And with Piscean energy here, and Leo calls it, names this card airborne, I see, I just heard Aquarius and the water bearer, which is a mix of air and Piscean water. We're on the upswing, flying high. You and I, we're on the upswing. Yeah. Take your hurt self and transmute that fire energy of Leo, which can be very narcissistic. It can be also very self-indulgent in expressing your passions. So, DRUGS's and alcohol and SEX, indulgence. Moving away from that, grounding yourself. Maybe some solitary alone time to look back and gain some perspective on what went down. It's so bright. Perspective. There we go. Is most definitely needed. All right. What energy are you giving off? Yeah, a new start, Ace of Earth. This is also, aces are a beginning. I think they're gifts from the divine. They're very powerful. But this also indicates the need to put an end, a death, almost like take out your complete foundations of what you know or were used to conduct, upon which you used to conduct all this energy that you're moving away from. Ace of Earth. Earth energy. This is in the place in the reading where this is what you're giving off, and this is what people are seeing. So I congratulate you. Whenever you find this reading, if you're about to step into this Ace of Earth energy, do it. The cards are screaming that you should. It's gonna bring you a lot of emotional strength and emotional intelligence, as I said. And you'll with that newly found or newly built intelligence, you're going to be able to build new foundations upon which all of your future relationships will be based. The anxiety that comes through this process for you, Aries, is a Queen of Wands. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. This might be mommy. You might have been dealing with narcissistic abuse, and you're just waking up to this fact. And this is why your past relationships went sour. This is for some of you. Yeah, I've known many Aries who had narcissistic mothers. And like I said, I'm an Aries Sun, Aries rising in Vedic astrology, and I went the way of the empath in the narcissist empath paradigm, where when you're the victim of a narcissist, in this case a mother, you have one of two ways to get through life, and it depends on what type of narcissist your mother was. For example, mine didn't give me any sort of Nine of Cups, didn't give me any sort of emotional intelligence that I could learn from and grow healthy boundaries with, and grow any of my relationships. She was very hands-off, emotionally distant. She's a Scorpio, the opposite of Taurus. Then the other narcissistic parenting, in particular mother, is the one that, I'm picking up Hamlet's mother, almost, sexualizing the son, or showering them with praise and making them, tricking them, manipulating them into believing that they are gods, when they're simply children. So yeah, those are the two types of those are the two choices that a victim of narcissistic abuse from a mother figure, a maternal figure, can choose. Either, and it largely determines on how you were treated in that narcissistic abusive relationship. So I'm picking up for some of you, Aries, it's the latter of what I described. Not my situation, but the one where you had that mother who was just, you could do no wrong, and she gave you everything, and it was just weird control, because in a way you became, maybe your father was absent a lot from the home, maybe your father was also the victim of the narcissist. In your case, you're this maternal figure. What's the outcome, Spirit? Oh, I love this. I love this. I love this. It's a birth card. It's the sun card. It's the healing of the inner child. And that's why the ego is a challenge here with the strength card. Also Leo energy. But this is the final outcome of this past relationship, or maybe you're looking into very closely your relationship to this lady of fire, queen of fire, this maternal figure. And yeah, your page of air, you're looking back at the past, gaining perspective on the type of giving that was in your childhood. All the cards are flying. XXXO is playing. You want me be somebody who I'm really not. Yeah, that's what these mothers do. These narcissistic mothers do. They want you to be what they want you to be, and you're never allowed to just naturally develop who you truly are. And you know what I'm getting from this? If there's any consolation, bottom of the deck, 4 of water, disappointment, 4 of cups. Now in this deck, it's entitled disappointment. Yeah, there's disappointment surrounding this discovery. That's what I'm getting. Is like, this is a new discovery for you. And let me tell you something. When I discovered this, it literally sent me about my relationship to my mother and her true feelings for me. It literally sent me to the hospital because I had the very first panic attack that I've ever had in my life. Seriously. I was just talking about this with somebody not 45 minutes ago. This first panic attack. And it was induced by this literally, it was a thought that came in like a lightning bolt. There were some angels involved too, and a passed over friend who came in to help deliver the message. Cry like a ghost by Passion Pit. I'm on my own where I found you alone. You were caught up in somebody else's mess. Yeah, this is what narcissists do. It's, they're so lonely. They have no, I was about to say boundaries, but they don't respect their child's boundaries. They keep the child from forming healthy boundaries of their own. So they're all up in your business 24/7, and especially during those crucial years where your cognitive functions are forming by the age of 14. But your attachment style has a lot to do with narcissistic abuse and how you then use that childhood experience to form the shadow of the ego. And that's where parts of you that were not allowed to develop are kept. So it's very important to understand that when you're doing shadow work, when you're Page of Air, Gemini, or the Lover's card, here, the Twins card, when you're all up in your head trying to suss out what the hell went down in your current relationship, it can all be traced back to your attachment style. And I think, Aries, you're I think, Aquarius energy just came through. Yeah, looking at from a bigger picture and realizing that you're not the only one who's been a victim in this way of narcissistic abuse. And it's a natural part of the ego death process, 8 of Swords, 9 of Swords, 10 of Swords, to go through and gain perspective. And yeah, you'll gain emotional intelligence, but you'll also have to, in gaining that perspective, you'll have to redefine your relationship to your caregivers. And specifically here, the mothers who are victims themselves. They chose the way of the narcissist. I chose the way of the empath, But just remember, Aries, you are a child. You're no longer a child, so our parents, are if your parent in this situation, if it's resonating with you, is still alive, maybe there is a way of learning from them still. But what I mean by that is, no, not you're going to go to them, ask them for advice, because you'd just be re-stepping into the relationship as defined by her. This learning that I'm talking about is the ego death process, really taking an introspective look at the self, and then looking out again and reviewing your mother in this situation, because I think you'll be able to find perspective when you do that, but only if you go in first. You have to do the work of killing off parts of the ego that were formed by this other person, in this case a mother figure. But also in the shadow work, in the ego death process, you're going to reach down into your shadow part of you to retrieve those gems that your mother never allowed you to let shine, to bring out and for you to wear and enjoy. They're in there, and a lot of people don't talk about that in the ego death process. They don't talk about this in the shadow of the ego. There are there's a lot of light in the shadow we're not aware of. It's that fire that's burning in Plato's cave, in the allegory of the cave. Google it. And it's when we descend into the cave and we see that life has been an illusion, or we've been looking at shadows playing out on the walls of this dark cave, deep down. When we realize that there's been a fire burning and it's all a projection, then we can start to make our way back to the mouth of the cave, out into the sunlight, and that's where we're almost blinded. But slowly, but surely, and for some of us, quite quickly, your eyes will adjust and you'll be able to see a bright new, different Earth here with the Ace of Earth. And then moving forward, you can choose whether to allow that mother figure back in your life, but more specifically, how and when they will be allowed back into your life. You will have the perspective and the knowledge to set healthy boundaries with her or him. Take it as it resonates. Whoever your caretaker was. Could be grandma. Maybe you were adopted. Whatever it is. Moving forward, Aries, only couple with people who can give you as much as your big heart is giving out to them. Stay grounded. Get out in nature. Go swimming in the ocean. Get some alone time and perspective in this, and all things will come back together. So long as you don't continue, avoid staying in your head with air energy and letting that mesh with or fuel the fire that naturally burns in you. It could be very combustible. So ground yourself, feminine energy, and I think that's it for now. I wish you all the best. I hope these messages resonated with you. And if you'd like to donate to the channel, you can find information in the description box, as well as links to sites where you can type yourself. So if you only know your sun sign, moon sign, rising sign, let's say you know astrology, you're into astrology and tarot, find out what your MBTI is, find out what your human design is, find out your numerology, and test yourself on the RADS-R test to test for neurodivergence. You might find yourself on the autism scale, and that, when I went through that was the last typing thing that I discovered about myself. It explains so much. It explains so much. And I could even see that reflected in my astrological chart, in my zodiacal chart, my autism. All right. When I Grow Up by Fever Ray. Waiting for it to embrace me. Yeah. Okay. I want to live near the sea, crab claws and bottles of rum. That's where I want to live. Staring at the seashell, waiting for it to embrace me, I put my soul in what I do. Last night, I drew a funny man with dog eyes and a hanging tongue. It goes way back. I've never liked that sad look. For someone who wants to be loved by you, I'm very good with plants. More earth energy, more ocean energy. You are growing up, Aries, baby boss. In this relationship, or this recent hurt, there's a lot of enlightenment that came through, but a lot of perspective and emotional intelligence you've earned. So get out, cry it out, get out in nature, and this too shall pass. I'll see you in the next reading. Namaste.